We are finally back to our regular schedule of videos. And for this week's TLDR, we're going to answer the question that a lot of people have been asking over the past month and a half. Where are your videos? Some of you might know the answer to this in that we wrote it in the blog post for our Eatyourkimchi Awards, in which we had a little bit of a medical condition that we had to take care of over January.
Is what I should
back
say.
In December. So from the middle of December up until now, this is something that we've been trying to deal with, and we want to share this story with you today.
Cue sad emotional music.
So this is a very difficult topic for Martina, which is why you're going to see she's going to be diffusing it with a lot of humor today.
Okay, so let's just jump into this because I don't like talking about it that much. So essentially, I have EDS, which is known as Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. I'm type 3 mobility. Woo! Hypermobility, which basically is a DNA disorder. It means you have problems with your collagen protein, which creates a lot of problems like dislocations all the time and a whole bunch of just tons of things that come with it. But the main problem that comes with it is chronic pain. I can't sleep, and chronic pain leads to depression, and it causes all these issues. My joints dislocate all the time. It's hard to walk, all that kind of jazz.
She glosses over this very quickly, but the fact is that she's pretty much in pain 24 hours a day. As soon as she wakes up, to even while she's sleeping, she wakes up often in the middle of the night because she has to keep on putting her joints back in place. And this is very taxing, living in chronic pain. It's not just physical pain, but it's also emotional. It's very tough for Martina to keep on going like this.
Yes. So essentially what happened in December was we finally decided it was time to start seeing a pain control doctor, which is something I've been avoiding for a long time because I don't want to rely on medication. I've been trying different forms of things, like I wear knee braces and ankle braces, and I do shoulder wraps, and I've tried everything to try to keep the pain in check, but it just pretty much got too extreme to the point where I was just crying a lot and unwilling to like get up in the morning, and it was just generally depressing. And I'm sure a lot of people have suffered the similar things before, whether it be through other invisible disabilities. EDS is categorized as an invisible disability, which means on the outside you look totally normal, but anyone who's been in a car accident, or you have Crohn's disease, or you suffer from IBS, there's like many different kinds of invisible disabilities. You know what it's like to struggle with something, to get up, to get going, to face the day. So I pretty much reached a really big low, and so we started to go to a lot of doctor's appointments, which is why we were missing a lot of videos.
So we went to one of the leading specialists in Korea that would understand Martina's condition.
I started with a genealogist.
Yes, he was extremely highly recommended, and when Martina went to him, turns out that she was the first person that he has ever actually met with this condition.
As an adult.
As an adult.
He's done genealogy work before, because you have to find out if you actually have it or not, but he's never actually met like a full-grown adult, which means I was giving him more advice on it.
He had no way of helping Martina out with this whatsoever.
This is pretty common because EDS is very like difficult to treat, and most places in the world don't really know about it, although Chicago apparently. Anyways, from there I had to be recommended to a pain specialist which deals with people who have to take medication every day. And we're not talking about like over-the-counter stuff that you buy for headaches.
Like Tylenol or Advil or anything like that.
Anything that I can buy at a store for pain is like, it does absolutely nothing for me.
A Tylenol for Martina's pain is kind of like you eating a grain of rice for a full meal. It does nothing to satisfy your hunger, and it does nothing to stop her pain.
Yeah, like max amount of painkillers, and I'm like, what's going on? Which is why it was so funny when I got my tattoo done, because my tattoo was like, it should be very painful, but I've developed a very high pain tolerance over my lifetime. And so the tattoo artist was very like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm like watching.
You talking about Max, this is easy. Slap me in the face while you do it.
Oh, I was like watching Vampire Diaries and like eating man too, like I didn't pay attention. But this is actually a real issue with people with EDS, because we tend to be underdiagnosed. Like when I broke my arm, or when I dislocated my knee and I didn't cry, people say things like, oh, you obviously didn't break your arm
because you'd be crying if you did.
But when you deal with chronic pain every day, your pain is above the average threshold, but like no one believes you.
So this is the problem with EDS as well, is that a lot of people don't get diagnosed with EDS until they're in their 20s or so. A lot of people suffered in their like elementary school years and their teenage years because a lot of people don't understand that they're actually suffering this.
Yeah. We went to the pain specialist, we started trying new medication, we're recommended to another doctor. So all the times they say to you things like, oh, we can't put a video up this week, or oh, we're really busy, or we've got some meetings, or like, oh, Martina's feeling kind of sick today. It wasn't like the sniffles, it was me having to go to a doctor's appointment, but I didn't want to freak you guys out by being like, I'm going to the hospital and, you know, telling you all the time.
So Martina wound up getting two kinds of medicine. There were tramadol and meloxicam, which for the first couple of weeks that she was using, it was actually helping out. It was easy for her to get out of bed. She was suffering less pain. Her mood was a lot better as a result of not feeling so much pain. The only problem with it is that after 2 weeks of using it, it caused extreme pain on her stomach, worse than the actual pain that she suffers through EDS.
In the end, it seemed like I was having stomach bleeding. Oh boy!
Oh boy!
Oh boy! So then they're like, okay, you need to stop this medication. So we tried stopping the main medication for the pain, and then that was around Christmas time, around the Eatyourkimchi Awards.
So that's why we couldn't post a lot of things. We couldn't have the big whole Eatyourkimchi Award thing that we usually do.
This is all happening at like a really...
Because it was difficult for Martina to even stand up at the time.
And then I went through terrible withdrawal symptoms from the medication. So let all of you be known, if you're gonna take Tramadol, please be careful, because the side effects were one of the worst things I've gone through.
Our doctor was rather negligent, and Martina was on a very high dose of medicine, and he was like, just stop using it, you'll be all right, instead of slowly reducing it out of her system. As a result, the symptoms for her withdrawal were terrible, and I was never so scared in my life for Martina as it was during Christmas time.
Yeah, poor Spudgy, man. Spudgy was
terrified as well. He was like curling up to Martina and like trying to sleep with. He could sense that something was wrong, and it was really a tough time for all of us. Now, some of you watching this video might be surprised by all this news, because we don't necessarily talk about it a lot. In the 2,000 videos that we've done so far, we barely ever actually talk about Martina's condition, even though it's something that she deals with every single day of her life.
Now, there's a reason why we don't really talk about this in our videos. I think we've only talked about it once in my Draw My Life video, and I barely even talked about it in that video. And the reason why is there are some people who have chronic illnesses that focusing on it, like being a part of support groups and talking about it all the time, like on Twitter or on a thread, is very helpful for them. For some people, it helps them cope with some things. For other people, I think it can make them feel very depressed and limited, and it can remind them that like they can't do things, or they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that. For me, I find that focusing on this all the time is not helpful for me. For me, I think that focusing on something that makes me happy or positive is how I deal with it.
Even doing this video today is really challenging for Martina. It took a lot of coaxing to try to get her to
You promised me a cupcake!
We're like, to get her to open up about this with you is something that she really is uncomfortable doing.
It's just that for me, it's not that it's embarrassing, it's just that I don't want this to turn into you guys thinking that I'm talking about it so that you can say like, oh, Martina, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Like, that's not the point of this video. The point of the video was that I at least want to tell you some tips of how I feel like I get through these days and how I get through my hardest of times. And I want to be able to share something with you guys, because I know that everybody at home goes through something, whether it's chronic, maybe it's a really low time, something's happened. I just hope I can share something with you, and that's what I want to do for the next part of this video.
A really good example of this is what happened yesterday. Now, we wound up parking our car right behind the studio, and it's really just like a 30-second walk from the car to the studio, and when Martina wound up having her coffee, her knee just dislocated. It just randomly does sometimes, and it's difficult for her to walk, and she fell on the ground rather painfully.
Oh my god, it's so embarrassing though, because I'm like a toddler. Like, we were right in front of all these places where someone might have been eating food, and I just went down like a sack of potatoes. Like, luckily I wasn't holding Spudgy.
You were on the ground, and it was really painful for you, and you were crying, and it was really sad for everybody that was there, but...
I wasn't crying, I came close.
You came
my
close.
My eyes welled, but I was fine. It just hurts to dislocate your knee. It really hurts. It was my kneecap, but whatever, I'm just saying.
But instead of just saying, F this day and going home, we went upstairs and we filmed a really fun video about fruit that should be coming out really soon. And we laughed so much, and we were able to really enjoy having fun making these videos. And during that time, we didn't think about the fall at all. We didn't think about the pain. It was just something that was really positive in our lives that helped us focus more in a creative way.
Yeah. The biggest struggle I feel like is actually in my own head. When we were walking and my knee gave out, I was so angry at myself because I didn't wear my knee brace that day, because we were giving a lecture that night and I was wearing a really pretty dress, and I said to myself, I'll be okay today without my knee brace because I don't want to clash with my outfit. I just want to look really cute. So when I fell, I was just like, you see, Martina, like, this is why you can't have nice things. Like, my feeling was like, you shouldn't wear dresses. Why don't you just stick to your sporty, like, tomboy look that you used to have growing up? You should wear baggy pants to cover your braces. It's so embarrassing. You fell. Someone could take a picture of you on the ground like an idiot. All these like negative Nancy thoughts came to my head right away. And then I had to say to myself, no, Martina, you're gonna make a video about fruit, extremely special fruit in Korea. It's a very interesting video. And people are gonna have such a good laugh when you talk with your husband, and you're gonna joke with each other, and you know Lee's gonna laugh behind the camera, and all those negative thoughts I have will just disappear. So I use it as like in a little tiny dark pit, and then I have this little grappling hook that comes out, and I think about making creative videos and seeing you guys online laughing in your comments, and it just pulls me out of this pit.
So for us, more than any actual physical pain medicine, one of the best pain coping mechanisms that we have is doing stuff with you guys online, making videos and talking with you and laughing with you. This is what's helping Martina through a lot of her conditions.
Sailor Moon with you.
Without this, it would be a lot harder for Martina to keep on going on. So doing these videos and interacting with you guys is something that's very important to us.
And making videos that have positive reactions. That's the key as well. So I could do videos about tons of different topics, but I want to kind of focus on topics that make people have positive reactions in their lives, you know? That's the only reason why I agreed to do this video, was because I thought I could hopefully positively influence some of you guys at home. So when you're lying in bed in the morning and I wake up and I say to myself, I'm covered in pain, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to put on makeup, what's the point of doing my hair? Forget filming today, Martina, just stay home. And then I have to tell myself, no, you know what? Why don't you do this instead? Why don't you draw this picture? Or why don't you make this video? And that's what gets me out of it. So I hope that you guys can do something similar. If you feel like you can't do something, try to find something that you can focus on. You know, going to get a cupcake that day, or making a video.
The small victories.
The small victories, yeah. So I recommend that as well to anybody who experiences any kind of chronic pain and depression that comes with it.
So that's it for our small update as to what's been happening over the past month and a half. We're gonna get back to a lot more fun and happy videos, and you're not gonna see us talking this seriously about the condition anymore.
Hey, Simon's been going to the gym and working out so that he can carry me places.
I am totally motivated now. Like I'm working out every single day. I have to get stronger so I can carry Martina if she's going to need to. I'm going to be, in the next year, I'm going to be like 300 pounds of gigantic Viking muscle so I can carry Martina like this if I need to. And you're going to see a lot beefier Simon coming up very soon. Hello. Oh yeah.
Fangirl is going to look hot. So what I want to know today in the comment section is, if you have an invisible disability or a visible disability, what do you do to keep yourself motivated and to get going? Let's share some tips and tricks with each other in the comment section below, and hopefully we can have this fantastic conversation on how you get through the day.